That's the
Yeah.
old me. All
Okay.
right, I've changed quite a bit. Break the blueprint down then, because if I'm trying to put a woman, on game, I'm talking to my daughter.
Okay.
She's in the dating space. I want to educate her on how to see past this, right? Because I think ladies are easily deceived by great conversation. That's
Hmm.
the first thing I literally was on the phone with one of my initiates the other day, and she was asking me this very same question. She was literally saying, Ty, I met this guy. I was in Jamaica. We were I was at a speaking engagement, and he was a Jamaican brother. First of all,
Oh,
red
so you
flag.
know he had, you know he had the mouthpiece.
Oh, bro. First off, the Jamaican brother, something different. But he said, look, he a Jamaican brother, and it was like this whirlwind experience.
Mhm.
Like he was out there. She said, oh, Ty, she stayed on his conversation. His conversation, oh my goodness,
Mhm.
it got deep. He was a man of faith. He was a man of God.
He
We
was
talked
lying.
about God. We talked about God. She said, and then, and then she mentioned it. She tried to breathe past it. She was like, yeah, and then we was in my room talking. And I was, whoa, 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 whoa.
Wow.
I was like, so y'all was in the room. She was like, yeah, it got kind of hot and this and that, but we didn't do nothing. She said we didn't do nothing, but I told him no, and he said I'm gonna let you go to sleep because I know you got XYZ going on. But what she was explaining to me and asking me,
Right.
here's what the
Right.
question was.
That's cap.
She said, Ty, she said, because the conversation was so good and we had all of this chemistry, now that I'm in the States, right? Is this somebody that, that really has some potential? Like, what do you think?
Mm.
And I
Girl.
understand that when a woman meets a man who's charismatic, who can speak, who can make her laugh, don't let him talk about some God, and let y'all have any level of faith-based chemistry, connection, and alignment. He almost can do no wrong at this point. So what do we really what does a woman really look for past all of those things that typically most people will tell her makes this a great man?
Now, wow, I ain't gonna lie, that was a great question. You know what I'm saying? And that's legit. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I had to make a couple more videos on this episode with April Mason. That episode was a good episode. It was intriguing to listen to hear from a woman's perspective. Now, that was a great question this brother just asked because we do have to protect our daughters. Those of you who have daughters, man, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Drop them comments because this video for you, and hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? So I can get into that algorithm. You feel me? Purple Lip Breakdown. This is what this is. Welcome to my channel, and all praises to the Most High. I hope y'all like this video. This segment right here, we're gonna be talking about women falling for the smooth talkers. You know what I'm saying? The smooth talkers, the swag, the guys who got the swag, ones who know how to use the mouth. You know what I'm saying? At young ages, old ages, it doesn't even matter. Deceivement is not what you need to follow for. We need real leaders in this world to be leading our women. So that's what this message is about. This was a valid question. I want to know what y'all think. Go ahead and drop them comment. Appreciate y'all for joining and watching my video. Let's go ahead and get into it. Purple Lip Breakdown. Let's get it. Let's go.
She needs to be connected to her own femininity, spirituality, sensuality, and wisdom. That's the GPS. See, women get caught up in the word. See, what I find is women who live in a place of lack and don't have men, quality men, coming after them consistently, they fall for this kind of foolishness.
Wow.
Right? Because I can literally, and my daughter can attest, we can literally sit down and all of that she experienced, had a wonderful time with this man and Kiki, and be like, okay, bet. Because he didn't do anything. He didn't prove that he deserved me. He has not earned anything. He has not shown me who he was as a man, what he believes, what he stands for. He didn't show that he had leadership ability. He showed that he could communicate, but he was speaking to the broken, more part of her that was craving that attention. And she allowed herself to go with it. That's on her. He was doing what he was supposed to do to get whatever it is he was trying to get, because fundamentally relationships are transactional. So he knew, he already spotted her weaknesses. He already spotted, oh, I have her attention. Men can always spot their prey.
Yep.
So he knew it wasn't going to take much. And then she didn't tell you what she was sharing with him. She might have shared her whole life. Yeah, I went through some abuse. I went through this and I got cheated on. Oh, bet. And he just sitting there like, yes, all I got to do is make her feel a particular way. So I believe it's up to a woman to be grounded in her femininity, spirituality. Spirituality is the GPS. Femininity comes with boundaries, right? She was in her sensuality because she was experiencing all of the five senses, right? But she wasn't using wisdom to see, all right, this felt good. Like you can go on a date and have a wonderful time, but that don't mean this the one. That just means in this moment, I had a wonderful time. Based on what my standards are, this person hasn't met that. They just make me feel a thing. But most women do not have standards outside of 6 feet, 6 figures, more than 6 inches in a six pack, and go longer than 6 minutes. That's typically what it is.
Right.
But
That's
there's
the combo pack.
there's the typically no substance behind the standards. So she just got played, and now she think about this man over in Jamaica, and he's just
Brought him
off.
all the way back to the U.S. Think about him.
Yeah.
Get on the phone thinking about him talking to you.
Absolutely.
And now he getting ready to do it again to somebody else that come over from the States because he knows he can. But women lack wisdom and awareness, and it's so disheartening that in 2025, I have to say this, that women lack womanly wisdom and they lack awareness. They are, I would say, they're intellectually intelligent when it comes to academics.
Yeah.
But when it comes to womanly wisdom and understanding how men function, they are bankrupt. And so we're dealing with this, and it's like, well, what do I do? I'm like, girl, how is it you walk around here? I'm a boss chick, and I make $250,000, and I drive my Range Rover and all that. But you crying on my phone because of some man that you didn't have a standard with, treated you a particular way. Put that degree over here and be that smart girl over here. The same way you got it over here. What's the problem? It's because we've been taught to spend so much time being educated and being successful in the marketplace that the very thing that women crave the most, which is the love of a man, she has put no effort into that. He should just, well, because I'm pretty and I have a vagina and I can make a house a home and I can do tongue tricks and I can bear his children. So what does that mean? Every woman says that. We're in Atlanta. It's beautiful women everywhere. You got to have more than pretty. What value do you bring to a man's life? Most women don't know that. How do you become an asset to his life? In exchange for what you want from him, what does he get from you that he cannot get from everybody else? That's where we're missing it. So your friend, girl, if you're watching, he played you. I hope you didn't give him none. I hope you didn't give him none.
You know,
Nah, facts. Nah, she told a whole lot of truth inside there. You know what I'm saying? Ladies, you know what I'm saying? Let's be real. Charisma is not character. Swag isn't substance. You know what I'm saying? Smooth words cannot replace a steady heart. You know what I'm saying? Like we gotta raise our daughters and remind ourselves that man with real value, it isn't about how he talks, dress, how he carries himself in public. It's really how he leads and how he loves, how he protects, how he sacrifices when no one's watching. Like, don't be fooled by the package, ladies. Like, a man can speak sweet, he could dress sharp, and still lead you into a pain and confusion. You know what I'm saying? You need to look for somebody who is a man who is consistent, who is accountable of his actions, consistent of his actions, and emotionally disciplined for what you're looking for. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you know, real men don't just impress. They build, they show up, they take responsibility, and they create peace. They create peace, not just for the presentation, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? But that's for the real man, and that's up for women to separate the two between those two. You can't go ahead and deal with Pookie and Ray Ray, and then come back and try to deal with the nerd who built himself up, or vice versa, the guy who just been watching in the corner but been building himself all along and been wanting you the whole time, but he saw that all the things that you've been going through because you chose different guys with the swag, character, all those things that he couldn't buy for himself. And another thing, at young ages, women have to realize that their moms are buying these clothes, their fathers are buying these, so their parents are buying these clothes. So their appearance is not so much something that they can even obtain or live up to. You real them are after the fact when they graduate and they have to really build themselves up from that standpoint. That's when you really see how men operate. Or it can, and most of the time it's just a phase, because I ain't gonna lie, the first 6 years after high school of a man is figuring a lot of things out for a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? For majority of them, but some guys, like a good 20% of those guys already be on the move and know what they're gonna do, and they work towards that and they build themselves up. But it's up for you ladies to go ahead and differentiate the two. Can't go ahead and keep chilling with Pookie and Ray Ray no more. We will not build a generation with Pookie and Ray Rays no more. One more time for that. Let's get it.
I mean, he was in the hotel room, so I think we can
got
draw
kinda
our own conclusions on
It
that.
got kind of crazy, but you made a point because he's speaking to a woman that has been deprived of something. I talk to so many women, and they just like, yo, I can't even find a good conversation.
Because they're not good conversations.
Oh,
See, most women are boring. Now, ladies, y'all know I love y'all. Y'all know I'm for the men and for the women, so I'm gonna give this disclaimer. But most women are boring. Most women go to school, they'll go to work, they might be taking some classes to go to school. If they have kids, their life revolves around their kids, and they go to church. Would you want to be a part of that life?
Not if they're not doing anything outside of that.
that makes sense.
So how can you say I can't have a decent conversation when you're not even interested? Why would somebody want to have a conversation?
Listen, tell him that too, because
That goes for the men
that
too.
goes for the
It
men.
does.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that goes for the men too, because I've sat and had conversations with men. I'm like, so tell me, what do you do for fun? Oh, well, I just go to work. Oh, that means you're gonna want me to sit around and watch TV with you all the time. And I like to get out and go and do things. So it's all about the man and the woman, men and women being interesting and being interesting and being interested in who you're sitting across from.
Right.
Most people don't even know how to ask questions to pull out information because they're not paying attention. Anytime I would go out, I would always study the man that I was with. I would find that little boy. So, because I knew if I could find his little boy, that's who I would be dealing with the most.
Wait, what is the little boy?
The hurt part of who he is. I had a quote, and the women, they lost their mind, and we always got to do the work. I said, if you heal the little boy within him, the man that you want will show up. I didn't mean do anything. I meant be exactly what that girl is being to you. Just being, and it causes you to heal because the presence, whether it's the presence of a man or a woman, becomes the healing. You start feeling like home with that individual. So I study people. Anybody that I'm with, I'm like, okay, let me see the most broken parts of who he is to see if I can handle that. Because we're all broken. Well, yeah, they need to do their healing work. Well, women need to do their healing work too. We don't know what a good man is until one comes in. Just like you guys don't know what the experience of a good woman if you've never experienced one. All of us have something. None of us has to be whole and healed to meet our person. Our person may be coming in as the physical being that orchestrates the healing. But everybody thinks everything has to be all I's dotted and all T's crossed, and it doesn't. So with women, most women are boring. Getting back to that, they don't have anything to talk about. So I hear women all the time say, I can't get a good conversation because you're not a good conversationalist, because you're not paying attention to him. You ask them, you always sit back and let y'all talk. Y'all gonna tell us everything we need to know about you. But women don't know the right question to ask. They're gonna ask, so what do you do for a living? What's your plans in the next 5 years? Do you love God? Are you a God-fearing man?
That's probably number one, right?
Right.
And they don't even know what that means.
And all you gotta
Right.
do is say, yep.
Hey. But hold on though. That was for her though. That's for her for bringing that up. That's some real talk right there, man. A lot of women these days, for sure, they talk on a very surface level. When they go ahead and have a conversation with us, man, they ask the same questions. It's easy for a man to dress that up however he want to. When we figure, like, men are adapters, we're gonna figure out what you end up liking, no matter what. We have a core us, and then we have of us that we figure out. We adapt to what you guys what we what it takes to attract you guys. You know what I'm saying? You women. You know what I'm saying? To be specific, completely. No, hold on. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, like she's 100% correct with that. You know what I'm saying? And this is a valid question. What she's about to bring up is very important for a lot of women and men to share and spread because these are core questions that we need to be asking each other when we date each other, not on the surface level. Oh, what do you do? What do you? Because it doesn't even matter what you do, because what you do on a day-to-day basis, where you come from, what you believe in, what do you want out of your future. That's more so what matters. In the end of the day, when it goes to getting to know someone, she's gonna ask some important questions that you should be asking, and I think that we should probably write it down or take a mental note.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Okay, he's good.
Yeah, and it's the same basic thing. They don't ask questions like, what did you see growing up when it comes to relationships? They don't ask that. They don't ask what the friends around you, what is their view on relationships and marriage? They don't ask questions like, why would your ex say you broke up? They don't ask questions like, how many women have you hurt? How many women have you healed? See, the other stuff is just basic. It's like, you're not going to get to the nitty gritty talking of, are you God fearing? That's like asking somebody what kind of drink you like at Starbucks. That's not heavy. And a lot of women don't necessarily even know what a God-fearing man is. God-fearing equals he goes to church. Who's leading him? How does he make decisions? Do you know his decision-making process? Is he a man that can make decisions quickly and they be precise? Does he have a plan A, B, and C, and they all get you to the same place? They don't even ask those questions.
Mm-hmm.
I just need to know, will he make a good father? Does he love God? Does he participate in the men's ministry and church? Child, most women that say this stuff has been hurt by the same men that they have this criteria for.
In men's ministry.
Right.
So,
Tell me she lying. Let me play that back. Because she just told the truth.
I just need to know, will he make a good father? Does he love God? Does he participate in the men's ministry and church? Child, most women that say this stuff has been hurt by the same men that they have this criteria for.
In men's ministry.
Right.
So it's like, no, go deeper. But and I say this to the men as well, go deeper. Stop just looking at her beauty and her booty and her beauty. What else does she have? How does she align with your future? And I said it before, relationships are transactional. People don't like when I say that, but they are.
Nah, seriously, she's right, 100% right, and she's right for the men. It's good that she highlighted that, because for the men, ask questions that more matter to you. You know what I'm saying? Do you want kids? Like building a family after having kids. Do you want to work? Is that important to you, work? Do you want to decline your work, or do you want to not work at all? You know what I'm saying? That way you prepare yourself mentally of how your woman, or if you want her to be your woman, if you want to build up, or if you can live up to it, because this is what she is expecting at the end of the day, and this is what you have to live up to. And you have to ask yourself these real questions so that you can be real with yourself and be honest with her. If she's not for you, you got to go ahead and let her free, no matter how much you want her, because you know that you're not going to obtain her at the end of the day. Don't try to break yourself just to live, a lifestyle for somebody else. You know what I'm saying? You fit somebody who fits your values. So ask the real deal questions. You know what I'm saying? Did she come from a 2-parent household? Like she said, when growing up, how many people have you ever cheated on someone? Have you ever broke a man's heart? You know what I'm saying? Have you ever been broken heart? Find out the core person who you dealing with. You know what I'm saying? Ask real questions, fellas. Don't just sit there asking oh man, she got a big booty, she pretty, she got nice teeth. Oh yeah, whoop the whoop. I'm gonna make this happen regardless of her characteristics. Don't look over it. This is your life at the end of the day. So it's very important she brought that up. I'm about to wrap this up though.
Men are very transactional. The women that you both are now seeing, you only approach them because of what they look like. And you made a decision in that moment that in exchange for her beauty, she's beautiful enough or attractive enough to me for me to spend money to take her out. That's the freaking transaction. Her beauty in exchange for dinner. Now you get to know her. But when was the last time you walked up to a woman that you didn't find attractive? You don't even see them.
Yeah, I
Oh
did.
my God.
You don't even see them.
I used to feel bad about that,
I
but
did too.
But now it's like it's kind of is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
And I believe we need to accept that relationships fundamentally are transactional. Y'all don't like to think so because it sounds like prostitution. Is she only trying to get a free meal? Well, you only trying to look at it from across the table.
Right.
Yep.
You're trying to find the lowest barrier of entry to the sex.
So for walk or work, that's what we doing.
Exactly.
If it take dinner,
That's what we're
we
doing. And then depending on the level of the woman, she might require too much. And then you just gonna ghost and be like, that requires too much for me to get what I'm trying to extract from her. But people don't like to see it that way because they think transaction money in exchange. But it could be money, it could be energy, it could be a feeling. Like I said, when a man proposes to a woman, it's based off the feeling he's getting from her. Well, love should be unconditional. No, there's conditions. Even God has conditions.
Right,
If my
right,
people
right.
who are called by my name would humble themselves, then I will. The then I will is the transaction. So are we more moral than God that we don't have conditions?
Right.
That's where this delusion comes in, and people don't really look at what they're asking for, and they don't become what they're actually asking for. So I just believe that relationships are transactional, and fair exchange is no robber. In exchange for my feminine experience, I expect you to provide for me.
understood.
There you have it. You know what I'm saying? She said it. Wow.